Good morning. Welcome to CATEX-TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. This is a live broadcast from Princeton, New Jersey. Today is Friday, January 7th, 2011. It's 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in the U.S. It's 4:30 p.m. in London. In Hamilton, it's 12:30, and in Mexico City, 10:30. If you need to reach us during the broadcast, you can phone in toll-free at 1-866-67-CATEX. Overseas, our AOL instant mail address is CATEX-TV. On this day in history, in 1927, not that long ago, 83 years, the first commercial transatlantic telephone service between New York and London was begun. It's hard to believe. Also, the actor Nicolas Cage is 47 years old today, and I understand his new movie is a bomb. We'll go to our main news. The main news is economic news, good and bad. Employers added fewer jobs than forecast in December, but the unemployment rate dropped to a two-year low, down to 9.4%. Payrolls increased only 103,000 for December. The median forecast of most economists had been 150,000. However, the jobless rate did dip to its lowest level in 2 years, reflecting gains in jobs and fewer people in the labor force. As we're giving this broadcast right now, the chairman of the Federal Reserve, Ben Bernanke, is testifying in front of Congress. He's saying that it appears that a self-sustaining economic recovery is underway in the United States, but indicated no sign whatsoever of wavering from a second so-called QE2 stimulus that the Federal Reserve is planning. Stock market is taking it badly. It's down about 33 points right now. News from Omega, Bermuda-based insurer Omega is now announcing that its estimated loss as a result of last September's Christchurch, New Zealand earthquake is likely to reach a shade under 19 million US after profit commission effects. In most cases, this will represent an exhaustion of Omega's limits. Back in November, Omega had estimated the net impact of the quake to be in the region of $7 million. The company said this morning that the majority of its exposure was coming from the reinsurance of local New Zealand cedents, with the rest coming via retrocession accounts. Meanwhile, Omega said that any losses resulting from the current Queensland floods in Australia would be mainly from the company's property treaty reinsurance account. Omega also said that at the moment there's little reliable loss data. Speaking of the New Zealand quake, Ian Simpson, the chief executive of New Zealand's Earthquake Commission, said that it could take up to 3 years to repair all the damage caused by the earthquake. He said that there could be up to 80,000 substantial repairs to homes and businesses that would take up to 3 years to complete. He also said that the December 26th aftershock had caused more damage than the original quake because it was quite shallow and much closer to the Christchurch Central Business District than the original quake was. Canopius is following a well-trodden path to Zurich. The Lloyd's insurer has unveiled plans for a Zurich-based reinsurance platform that it hopes will be up and running by the middle of this year. The development is further evidence of Switzerland's emergence not just as a tax-efficient domicile, but also as an underwriting hub. Catlin and Aspen, of course, have both opened new dedicated underwriting operations in Zurich. Also, Allied World Assurance, coming from Bermuda, has recently domiciled there. Canopius' new Swiss outlet, which will write on behalf of the group Syndicate 4444 at Lloyd's, intends to focus on European treaty reinsurance business. They've recruited ACE's Eric Gutierrez to head the new Swiss reinsurance operation. And the Virginia Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company is venturing outside of the state of Virginia. Actually, it's a commonwealth, one of four in the United States, in property and casualty insurance for the first time by acquiring a New York-based company. Virginia Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company said this morning that it has agreed to buy Countryway Insurance Company based in Syracuse, New York, from the United Farm Family Mutual Insurance Company. Financial terms were not revealed. The deal must be approved by the New York Insurance Department. The Farm Bureau Insurance Company owns a company in Northern Virginia that brokers health insurance in the Mid-Atlantic, but does not have any out-of-state customers in P&C insurance. Countryway is a 56-year-old company with 70 employees. has approximately $33 million in premium. Farm Bureau Insurance Company of Virginia has 800 employees and premiums of about $200 million. We'll go to a word from our sponsors and come back with the rest of the news. There's a bit of police activity going on in London today. Police are fanning out across the city, focusing mainly on transportation hubs, apparently due to continuing fears of a terrorist attack. Britain's media said that the security threat levels for transport hubs has been raised as governments in several European countries continue to warn of a heightened risk of terrorism. Police are on patrol at major hubs like St. Pancras Station and King's Cross, in what seemed to be an exercise in high visibility policing. British Transport Police declined to comment on the deployment of officers, but they did deny a news report that officers had been ordered to cancel days off. Britain's Home Office said that any imminent serious threat to public safety would prompt a change in the overall threat level from severe, where it currently is, now to critical. This is the highest point on the system's 5-point scale that has not occurred yet. However, the Daily Telegraph reported on its website that train stations across London were being put on high alert. Quoting an unnamed security source, it said that there was no imminent threat, but that activity from extremist cells had led to an adjustment in policing levels. Of course, the fears there of another Mumbai-style attack. And in Germany, thousands of farms across the country have been ordered closed by the government after it's emerged that they produced eggs that may be contaminated with the toxic chemical dioxin. Operations at about 4,700 farms, mostly in Lower Saxony, have now been halted until it can be proven that the products don't present any contamination dangers. The decision came amid revelations by the European Commission yesterday that the affected German products had entered Britain in the form of 14 tons of processed egg fluid that are to be used in the preparation of human food. The egg fluid is used for preparation of things such as custard, pastries, and other egg-based foods. The origin of the contamination has been traced to a distributor of oils for animal feed production in the northern German state of Schleswig-Holstein. Oils meant for the industrial use of biofuels were inadvertently distributed instead into animal feed. No word on who that company is, but if you're on that policy, beware. ACA Financial Guarantee Corporation, which is a bond and credit insurer, is suing Goldman Sachs over an investment that later went bad. ACA is seeking $30 million in compensatory and $90 million in punitive damages. The lawsuit was filed yesterday afternoon in New York City. Goldman has already paid $550 million to the Securities and Exchange Commission in connection with the same investment, which is actually called Abacus. You recognize it now, I'm sure. The SEC sued Goldman last April claiming that the bank created and sold a mortgage investment that was devised to fail. Well, here in Princeton, New Jersey, it's snowing now. It's going to be snowing in New York all day, and it's expected to be snowing up to Boston over the weekend. There's also a significant winter storm expected for Tuesday. So it's definitely the depths of winter here. However, in the continuing effort that we have to give our international viewers some sense as to what's going on in the United States, let's look at this. Yes, our version of football, not soccer, but the National Football League, is embarking upon its playoffs this weekend. This weekend marks the beginning of the playoff round in which 12 of 32 teams, that's 38% of the teams, having survived now since August, will get to play each other to see who goes to the Super Bowl, which is going to be held in Dallas this year. So beginning tomorrow, the New York Jets will play the Indianapolis Colts. The New Orleans Saints will play the Seattle Seahawks. The next day on Sunday, the Green Bay Packers will play the Philadelphia Eagles, and then the Baltimore Ravens will play the Kansas City Chiefs. Resting at home by virtue of the laurels of their increased records are the New England Patriots, who are the favorite here this year, the Chicago Bears, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Atlanta Falcons. Consternation this year is centered on the Seattle Seahawks, who actually managed to enter the playoffs with a record of 7 wins and 9 losses, which sort of renders the idea of competing for a playoff spot somewhat moot if you can get into the playoffs with a losing record. Anyway, with the bad weather in the Northeast, most of the American business colleagues with whom you have contact on Monday will undoubtedly have watched one of those 4 games that I just mentioned. There's not going to be much else to do. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. If not, thank you for watching. Have a good weekend, and we will see you on Monday.